Hello, my name is Stacy Anker, and today I'm going to talk with you about my favorite book. My favorite book is called Flight, and it was written by Sherman Alexie. The three things that stood out the most to me in the story were the main character, the setting, and the storyline within itself. The story is about a teenage boy who became an orphan after he lost both his parents. I hope that at the end of my speech, you will know more about the book. And I also hope that it will be interesting enough for you to go out and get a copy of the novel. First, I'm going to talk to you about the main character. The main character goes by the name of Michael, who was a teenage boy going through puberty. And he called himself Zitz because he had all these pimples all over his face. He was born to an Irish American woman who died when he was 6 years old. His father, who was Native American, walked out on him and his mother while she was in the process of giving birth to him. So this was a child that went through a lot. He went through neglect and abuse from many different people. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the storyline. So after his mom died, he moved in to live with his aunt, who promised that she would take very good care of him. And unfortunately, things didn't work out this way. He lived with his aunt, and while living with her, the aunt had a boyfriend who would verbally, sexually, and physically abuse him constantly. This went on for 2 years until Michael couldn't take it anymore, so he began to fight back. Him and the boyfriend got into a big fight. He ends up in the hospital. The boyfriend ends up in jail. And the aunt blames him for the whole thing, and she decides to walk out of his life as well. After this happened, he ended up in foster care. In foster care, things got even worse. He continued to get abused in these homes. He felt alone. He wasn't treated well. He even mentioned in the story that his foster father would take him downstairs to play with the train sets. And then he would take him to a dark room where he did things to him that hurt. So he went through a lot. By the age of 15, he had already gone through over 20 different foster homes. And because of this, he was really traumatized, and this led to change in his behavior. He started to break the law. He started to go out and steal things like candy, CDs, anything that was small enough to fit in his pocket. And he did this just so he could get arrested, so someone could pay attention to him. It also got to a point where he started to imagine himself being in different bodies. So he would jump from body to body. He mentioned that he was in the body of an Indian boy. He mentioned that he was in the body of a soldier, a pilot, and even in the body of his own father. And so all of these things led to him having post-traumatic stress disorder, and this went on for years until finally he ended up in a foster home where the parents really cared for him. And at first it was hard for him to trust them, but they reassured him with love and care, and after a while the relationship got better. This was a great turning point for him because compared to all that he has been through for the past years, he was now in a better situation. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the setting. The story itself took place in Seattle, Washington. But what was interesting to me about the setting was that every time he jumped from body to body, he ended up in a different city, a different town, or even a different country. As the little Indian boy, he talked about being at a place called Little Bighorn in India. As the pilot, he mentioned being in Chicago. As the police officer, he mentioned being in the police station and just doing all that work and fighting crime. As a soldier, he mentioned being at a military base leading out the U.S. Army. And as his father, he mentioned that he was homeless on the streets of Tacoma. The story was really interesting to me. It was funny and sad at the same time. And it shows that trauma can lead to change in people's behavior, and it can also alter people's perception. It also shows that when you're around people that really doesn't care about you, you can end up getting mistreated. I hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope that you will go out and get a copy of the novel. It's a good read. You won't regret it.